Now, today we just woke up with not so good news in South Africa, and this is mainly due to the sanctions that officially President Trump of the United States has signed against South Africa. I mean, on these new sanctions, South Africa won't be receiving that 17% per far aid that it was receiving from the US, and the US is saying this is mainly due to two things. Is overland seizures against human rights, which he claims that the Afrikaners, people living in South Africa, they are being killed, which is not the case. We all know that. The second thing, he says South Africa accused Israel of genocide instead of Hamas, which is something that, again, it looks like us winning that court battle or going to represent Hamas and the court rule against Israel's favor. That is not sitting well with the president of America, President Trump. Because of all this, they are deciding to cut the PAFA aid, or the 17%, which, by the way, the president of South Africa said they were already looking at other alternatives during the State of the Nation address on Thursday, which means that they knew, or South Africa already knew, that we are going to receive punishment because last week the president of South Africa stand against President Trump and said what he was saying it was not truthful, but he was more polite, because what President Ramaphosa said is that if the Trump administration is not understanding something when it comes to the Land Act, which is currently in place in South Africa, they must sit down with South Africa and discuss these, of course, false accusations of saying South Africa is not treating white people fairly. And I've noticed, did you notice that on this letter, apparently it's no longer white people, but it's Afrikaners. So they are saying where South Africa is treating the Afrikaners. Yeah, and I think this was stimulated by the AfriForum, right, as we saw, this week or sometime this week. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm talking about is that we have been sanctioned, the PAFA aid has been withdrawn, and we will not be getting that 17% which the US used to give us. But it's not a train smash. Our president has said that they are looking at other options. Have a look at this letter. Let's go through this letter together. This sanction, or the execution order, or the letters addressing the egregious actions of the Republic of South Africa. And he said, by the authority vested in me as the president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1. Purpose. In shocking disregard of its citizens' rights, the Republic of South Africa recently enacted Expropriation Act 13 of 2024 to enable the government of South Africa to seize ethnic minority Afrikaners' agricultural property without compensation. This act follows countless government policies designed to dismantle equal opportunity in employment, education, and business, and hateful rhetoric and government actions fueling disproportionate violence against racial disfavored landowners. In addition, South Africa has taken aggression position towards the United States and its allies, including Israel, not Hamas, of genocide in International Court of Justice, and reinvigorating its relation with Iran to develop commercial, military, and nuclear arrangements. The United States cannot support the government of South Africa's commission of rights violation in its country or its undermining United States foreign policy, which poses national security threats to our nation, our allies, our African partners, and our interests. Now, Section 2, which covers the policy. It is the policy of the United States that as long as South Africa continues these unjust and immoral practices that harm our nation, the United States shall not provide the aid or assistance to South Africa. This is where they are talking about the PEFA aid. So they've withdrawn. They are not going to continue offering us the PEFA aid. And B, the United States shall promote resettlement of Afrikaner refugees escaping government-sponsored race battle discrimination, including racial discriminatory property confiscation. All executive departments and agencies, including the United States Agency for International Development, shall to the maximum extent allowed by law, halt foreign aid or assistance delivered or provided to South Africa, and shall promptly exercise all available authorities and discretion to halt such aid or assistance. The head of each agency may permit the provision of any such foreign aid assistance that, in the discretion of the relevant agency head, is necessary or appropriate. Section 4. Refugee settlement and other humanitarian consideration. The Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall take appropriate steps consistent with law to prioritize humanitarian relief, including admission and resettlement through the United States Refugee Admission Program. For Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of the unjust racial discrimination, such plan shall be submitted to the President through the assistance to the President and Homeland Security Advisor. The last section, general provision. Nothing in this order shall construe to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to execute department or agency or head thereof, or the functions of the Director of Office Management, budget relating to budgetary, administrative, legislative proposal. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to availability. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, subtractive or procedural, enforceable law in equity and by any party against the United States, its departments, agency, entities, its offices, its officers, employees or agents, or any other person. This is the full detail of how our sanction made by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is looking like. This is what he wrote, or this is what the United States is doing to South Africa. So they are going to stop the PEFAR aid, so that 17% which we were getting from the United States, it's going to be suspended them because of these two issues I told you beginning of this video. This is not good, man, but on the other side of the coin, we know that number one, it's just 17%, though it might be a lot of money, but it's 17%. And I did say that there are quite a number of partners that can come and assist. Remember, these partners can be anyone. It can be any institution. It can be any organization, right? I think the South African government will make sure that that 17% be replaced and people continue getting their medication as usual. Because if we did not have a plan, the President of South Africa was not going to come on Thursday during the State of the Nation address and say that they are looking at other alternatives. They are already looking at other alternatives, which therefore it means that right now it's just a matter of getting the proper deal for them and get the 17% or replace the 17% which the United States was giving us was contributing on the PEFAR aid fund, which is something that will wait. Let's see. Hopefully things get better, and as soon as possible that money that the US was giving us or was funding our PEFAR aid gets to be replaced or funded by someone or another institution. These are the news. I just thought I'd come and give you this news. I woke up and I read this news and I thought, no man, I must make you be aware that apparently right now US won't be giving us that 17%, and let's see what happens going forward. But I think we will. South Africa has got a plan. We will see other means. The president said that they are already looking at other plans, which I would like to believe that there is something or there is a deal that is about to be struck already. But anyways, that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because on this channel I give you the latest content, latest developments that can impact or trigger, of course, our investments, especially in the stock market, because how this can affect, we don't know what else is gonna come, because yes, it's not yet trade battle between South Africa and the US, but we never know where it could go. So we just need to always brace ourselves, always think ahead, always diversify. I said it before, I'll say it again. Don't just put your money into SA, but also go put your money outside. Diversify, because when things are not aligned, and I'm not saying this will cause things to, of course, fall or South Africa's economy to tremble, but I'm saying in the future, these things happen even to the US, in China, big countries, well-developed countries, right? These things happened and we have seen how they impact the economy, and it's not good. But anyways, hit that like button. I'll see you in my next video, and God bless you all.